The Afro-One Show, voice of a new tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible, despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the Afro-One Show, voice of the new tribe.
Hello, family. I'm trying as much as possible. How are you all doing? It's good for me to see you all today on a Friday. Yes, for strangers, and actually, my brain just went muted. On a Friday, I'm right here on the Afro-One Show. I want to welcome every one of you who have taken the time for you to join us today, and I believe that today it's going to be very interesting. Today, I'm going to be talking of a topic titled Navigating Crowded Space. Navigating crowded space. The reason why that is very important is because we have seen, please, before I even continue, somebody should make me know if you can hear my voice so that I don't just talk and get to find out that you're not hearing me. So please, somebody should just make a comment somewhere or give me a thumb up so that I don't talk and find myself not working properly. All right. I've been told that this stuff is working fine. So today we're going to be talking about crowded space, and so how to navigate crowded space, how to be able to come up with innovative ideas for you to be able to navigate crowded space properly. Give it the paper, the book that has all the numbers and stuff. I think the reason why I'm asking for that, there is an opportunity that I want to talk about that has to do with landed properties. That Ethan Gold is currently offering, so that because I see before you people think that the promotion is over, the promotion is still up and running, but I just needed us to be able to get the ecosystem of things properly so that you can understand. So currently now, Ethan Gold is currently offering an opportunity of a landed property in Karshi, Nasarawa State. And so they have a system where, no, give me the book. I think there's a place I wrote something. Find a place for me. They have a system currently now. Yeah, thank you. So they have an opportunity, Ethan Good has an opportunity currently that you can then be able to call them for you to be able to find a way of getting a 500 square meter, which is going to be an investment. Now, the reason why I'm very particular about the land investment of things is this. I remember I was watching a particular video from Pastor Olumide Emmanuel. Yeah, Pastor Olumide Emmanuel. And on this very particular channel, they were asking him, are you a billionaire? So he laughed and he actually responded to say, yes, I'm a billionaire. And the lady was nice enough to ask, okay, how do you become a billionaire? And he laughed. He says, the problem with most people when it comes to billionaire is the fact that you think that billionaires are people who just have the liquid cash in their bank accounts, but you forget to understand that the money is in the assets in which that they have been able to acquire. And so based on that, he was now explaining how he bought some certain land in Lagos for 50,000 naira, and he bought massive acres of land. And that is over 24 years ago. Then there's some certain land also he bought in Abuja that was also a lot of acres of land also. Now, he was now saying to this very particular lady, he says, the thing about being a billionaire or the success of businesses is the fact that it doesn't happen just one day. It's a process of time. And so, yes, when he was buying those land for 50,000 naira, that was about 24, 25 years ago, people will look at it and think that he's crazy. But currently now, literally, you and I know too well that I think I was speaking to Erico a few minutes ago to say, sometimes you see some 500 square meter. I think there was one like that I was seeing in Lokogoma around the area where I stay. And all of a sudden I was looking at a 250 square meter and they are calling 32 million naira. And I'm thinking, what the hell? But chances are the owner of that property 20 years or 30 years ago, he might have bought that very particular land for less than 50,000 naira, for instance. But currently now we're looking at 14 million. Imagine if that person has, let's say, for example, 5 acres of it, and he decided to plot it the way he wants to plot it. By now, the person is a billionaire. Now, I'm saying this for me to encourage you. Ethan Gold is currently offering an opportunity of land buying in Nasarawa State. The area is called Karishi. And please hear me. I'm going to call the number for you to be able to call so that you can then be able to do your verification of that very particular land and also book a date with them so that you can go and see the land and also get to understand what they are offering. They are friendly people. They will be able to communicate with you and to make sure that at least all the process of it becomes easy. But this is the thing here. They are offering the land for 500 square meter for 700,000 if you're buying for outright sale. Then if you are now buying for instrumental, they've been able to create a 4 different package that will be able to accommodate your pocket. I like the last one that I'm going to be mentioning, obviously based on the financial, what you call, peg of a minimum wage in Nigeria at the moment. For South Africa, it's less than 10,000 rand for you to buy a 500 square meter literally in Nigeria. And please, for diaspora, buy. The reason why is the fact that you never can tell what's going to happen in the next 3, 4, 5 years from now. And so imagine you buying a land for 700,000, less than 10,000 rand in South Africa. And the next minute in 300, I mean, in 5 years, 3 years, you are literally selling that land for another 400,000 rand. Now, that's literally what we're talking about, land business in Nigeria. So I encourage you, diaspora people, please and please call the number that is scrolling on the screen, and I'm going to call the numbers again. So now they have 4 parts in which you can take for instrumental payment. Number one, you can go for a 3-month package. When you divide a 3-month package, you are paying something less than 250,000 for 3 months to be able to cover your what's called your instrumental package. Then if you want to go for 6 months, the total amount there, you're paying something less than 130,000 for 6 months. Now, if you're going for 10 months, you are paying something less than from 90,000 naira below. That's what you're going to be paying for 10 months. But now the one I like is the 4th package, which is literally the one for 50,000 naira for 24 months. 50,000 naira literally. If your minimum wage is 70,000, you can be able to plan something and say, okay, every 50,000, I'm going to be drawing 50,000 and I'm going to manage myself for the next 2. You hear me? It's an inconvenience package, but at the end of it, after 2 years, remember you are buying the land now for 700,000. The money is not going to change. I mean, the price is not going to change for that 2 years. But when you finish paying after 2 years, there is no way you will sell that land again for 700,000 naira. It's impossible. So I'm currently encouraging you. Call the numbers that is on the screen, which is 070-733-16184. 070-733-16184, or you can call them on 080-988-99008. 080-988-99008. That's the number for you to literally call them for you to be able to get your land with Ethan Gold, which is currently in promotion for 700,000 naira for 500 square meter. I promise you, you can't get that kind of package anyway. I think I did my own, and I noticed that I think the other day we were talking, and I was saying to her, people around your space, they are selling for 1 million, some are selling for 1.2, some are selling for 1.5 for literally 350 square. Now take an advantage of it. So the choice is yours. With that being said, family, so that I'm going to be able to pick your calls today, I'm going to do a bit of a drive-through where the remaining minutes that I have left, I'm looking at my countdown. My countdown literally says I have about 50 minutes for me to go. So I'm going to be fast so that I can be able to pick your calls. We can then be able to talk about business. And please remember that if you're calling for the business side of things, which is not now, let's get straight to the business, which means you will talk to me about the business. What problem are you solving? If you were to get the 50,000, what is the direct impact you want to do in the business? And also, how do you intend to market your product so that people can then buy your product? Please hear me. We do not support or we do not finance anything that has to do with illness. It is not our specialty. It is different organization, but for us, it's known as Afri1 Empowerment Foundation, so which means we're empowering you. And hear me, if it's an idea form of business, we don't finance that. You must be able to have a business that you're currently doing, or maybe you are starting a bit, but you have started something. It can be in your kitchen or in your toilet. I don't know what you'll be doing in your toilet, but well, I'm just saying, it can be in your kitchen, in your house, or any space of your place. I think my team, they were telling me about somebody who was doing their business from their kitchen and stuff. So you don't need to have a big fancy house. Just make sure that you've started something. With that being said, quickly, let's look into to this topic that we want to discuss, which is navigating crowded space and finding your niche in a crowded market with innovation. Now, let me say this. One of the things you need to understand is the fact that markets are literally crowded. Whether you like it or not, there is no sector that you want to go into that there are not players in that very particular place. I remember there is a guest we had yesterday. The person was making me to understand that in Nigeria alone, which obviously it's his specialty, he's into the agric of things. In Nigeria alone, he says we have about 39 million farmers. That number shook me. I'm like, what? But now this is the thing. You who is going into farming, remember that you are competing with already 39 million people who is already in that very particular space. So whether you like it or not, the space is crowded. You are not the only person playing in that region. So you must be able to come up with systematic strategy. How, for example, how do you want to enter into a space where 39 million people are already playing in that very particular space? What will make you different? Why are we going to buy your product? So those are the things that we're going to be looking into in terms of navigating crowded space. And so you must understand that in that crowded space, hear me, there'll be noise. There'll be a lot of things that will want to distract you. And chances are, especially for me, the one that is even much more is the fact that your profit margin in that very particular crowded space without innovation may be very tiny. It will be very tiny. And so with that being said this morning, why markets feel crowded is because, number one, we're going to look at it very fast. Number one, everyone is selling at the same price of the product or services. So obviously, if the market is crowded, which means everybody's selling at the same price. For instance, I like using POS in Nigeria because it's the fastest crowded market space. POS in Nigeria, for instance, by the time you want to withdraw 10,000 naira, chances are it is between 200 and 400 they will charge you. And all of them is literally 200, 400, 200, 400. So you know that, okay, I think Lagos is 400. It's Abuja here that is 200. I was shocked. I was like, okay, maybe because Lagos has a huge amount of money, demand in Lagos is higher. So because of that, everybody in Lagos who wants to withdraw 10,000 from a POS. Now, POS is one funny small machine like that, that you can transfer money, but they give you cash. I don't understand how that becomes a niche in Nigerian market, but it's now a market in Nigeria. So I remember trying to go to the bank to get cash, and they were telling me go to POS to withdraw. And I'm like, but you're a bank. It was shocking for me. I did not understand, but that was what it is. And so now, with that being said, you must understand that everyone is selling at the same price. Number two, competing only price instead of value. Many of them are just, no, my price is this, but few people are talking about value. Number three is the fact that lack of creativity in packaging and delivery is also part of the things that is happening within a crowded space. And also number four, customers doesn't see the difference between brand. Why? Everybody's doing POS. What's the difference? If you are selling, if you are into fashion, for instance, I don't know what's the number of people doing fashion currently in Nigeria. Chances are maybe it's also more than 1 million, for crying out loud. But why are we going to go to a Vicky James and not come to you? Or why do we need to go to Shei Vodi and not come to you? Why do we have to go to all of these 1% or 20% who are feeding that very particular market and not you? But guess what? Most everybody is literally going into the space of fashion. But why should we come to you? So you must understand that customers don't see difference when it comes to crowded space. But this is what we want to talk into today so that we can then begin to create an innovative way. One of the examples I'm going to give as we begin to look into about 5 points quickly is this. I remember when Uber or Bolt or Taxify as it used to be called, and there's a lot of pop-ups, what you call e-hailing services that is currently on different countries and on different, what you call city. Uber, for instance, understand that the market is saturated and people are literally taking combi, like we call it in South Africa. I don't know what you guys call it in Nigeria, but those public transports. People are literally taking combi and stuff. So the market already has transportation system going on in that very particular place. Uber and Taxify, they came up with an idea to say, okay, fine, the crowd is a lot. What do we do? We are not going to disrupt, we're not going to disturb the combi guys and stuff, but we are going to create something still in that crowded market that will give us a particular portion of it. What happened that I'm going to be saying as we go along, I'm going to repeat it again properly, is the fact that they look for a niche in the transportation system and say, yes, for example, let me use the combi. The combi can take 14, 15 people inside combi. But guess what? these transporting guys, these e-hailing services, they discover that some people will want something nice, something cheaper, whereby they can be in their car alone or be in the car alone, and yet they are still in the transportation system. And that's how they come up with Uber, which means the ability for you look at the industry where you are playing and currently think of an innovative way of serving that same people. Hear me. We are all watching TV, whether I like it or not. We watch movie. Netflix came into the picture and discovered that the stress of you going to, I remember those days, I don't think he's here now. The stress of you going to a shop for you to go and buy, to go and rent video. And they give you the video. Sometimes you may even rent those, because I know I've done it. You may even rent the video and you try to put the video into your VHS, and the next minute the thing is not clean. Like you are just a lot of stress. Netflix and all of this Internet of Things came into the picture, and they says, okay, we want to help you minimize those stress. So we are going to get all of the movies you like. We'll put them on an online platform. You are going to sit back and watch that very particular movie for a chelete that is very small. So it's part of the ways where you begin to look into your industry and start asking yourself questions. I'm currently operating in the finance space. I'm operating in the agri-tech of things. I'm operating in education. What are the best way? How do we go about it? As crowded as transportation system, guess what? The whole Uber and Taxify stuff, they have a way of navigating through that very particular space, and they bring you home or they bring you to your workplace. So number one, as we begin to look in finding your niche, practical step you must do, hear me, in trying to come up with an innovative way in the crowded industry where you are, is number one is the fact that you must listen to complaint. Be willing to listen to complaint. I know businesses most times, especially startups, you want to enter into space, you have this idea, that is this booming stuff. Like, no, I just want to go into that space. I want to do it this way and cool. But you have never taken out the time for you to listen to the complaint in that industry where you are trying to get into. Have you been able to put your mind and say, okay, what is the complaint people are saying in this industry? Because hear me, every industry has a complaint. Every industry, including the ones that you think don't have, they all have a complaint. So which means you must listen to complaints, and from there, that's your opportunity in that crowded market. You must listen to complaint. People are complaining every day. Have you taken out the time for you to find? And hear me, the complaint may not be a large complaint. The complaint may be, for example, a handful of people, and you serve that market with exclusivity. E-hailing company comes in, they did not look at saying that, okay, we want all the combi to come. They look at the inconvenience of the people entering public transport and stuff and say, okay, let's be able to pull out some of the, sometimes when you enter those combi, I think I remember those days, Danfo in Nigeria, where you enter Danfo, somebody can just raise their hand like this and hold this thing. And the way the person is oozing, he's oozing what is even much more higher than Uzziah. And you'll be thinking in your mind, what the hell? One person can enter that combi and mess the whole of the place. You'll be thinking, dude, do you guys have scarcity of water in your house, or what is happening? But guess what? All of that complaint is what people like your Uber, Taxify, your e-hailing services, they noticed and they come up with something to say, okay, this one that is complaining, if we put extra 20 rand or extra 50 rand on top of this transport for them to enter one combi alone or enter one transport alone, then it will make their life much easier. And guess what? They are doing it. Does that stop the public transport system from happening? No, it doesn't stop. But guess what? The hailing services, they are still making their money. So you must understand that as you listen to complain, you may not get all the markets, but that very particular few markets that you have in the thing will literally help you for you to begin to package your product in such a way that will attract those people. Hear me, all you need is just a handful. I said to somebody, I said, if you are not targeting the whole total, whether it is your TAM, your SAM, and all of that, if you are not targeting, if your target is more than 1.2% of the market, then your projection is just almost close to wrong. Because you must just be, so don't say, no, I'm targeting the 100% of the market. You get frustrated. As popular and big as Coca-Cola, people still go and buy Pepsi. So calm down. You must, yet they're in the beverage industry. People still go and buy Pepsi. It's their choice. So what's your issue? So you must just be able to target a certain market or a certain population in that crowded space and serve that better. So which means you must listen to customer pain. Number two, what must you do? Which lead after listening to their pain. Number two, you must come up with a differentiate packaging and also a presentation. How are you going to package it? Let's look at the agri-tech of things. I think I remember with my guest I was talking about, and I was asking my guest, it's going to be out somewhere, give us about 2 weeks or so. That very particular content is going to be out, and you're going to enjoy the content because we talk about a lot of systems and how to be able to broach into systems, find a way of creating a system around your space, how to be able to monetize the system, to be able to get something out of it. And I think I remember when he said something around subscription package, I look at Econ, I'm like, at least finally somebody's doing something on subscription. That was interesting. And I think I remember saying the other day, we were sitting, I said, I'm looking for somebody who is going to do a fashion business, but do it on a subscription package. Because chances are, especially those of us who are in the public space, we may need something where we just want to be on a subscription. But every day we have to, the pressure you people put on us to look good can be stressful most times. But we just want to be able to have a subscription package of things to be able to help us to minimize having too many clothes that we only then wear once a year or once quarterly, which is waste of resources, to be very honest. Now, you must be able, like I said, number two, differentiate your market through packaging and presentation, which means a product is not just what is inside, it is how you deliver it. It is not just about the content, it is the delivery of the content. Your content may be good, the solution may be perfect, but the way you deliver that very particular solution may literally just deter people from coming to your place. For instance, you may be selling fat cooks. How do we call fat cooks in Nigeria? Puff puff, that's the name. Yeah, you may be selling puff puff, and in the puff puff that you are selling, have you been able to look? Everybody is selling puff puff, but I need to package my puff puff in such a way by I come up with different varieties or taste of puff puff. For instance, I've tasted some puff puff in Nigeria, and I'm like, don't you guys? Can't somebody come up with strawberry puff puff? Come up with vanilla. Come up with, there are different taste board of people and stuff. You might be so shocked. For example, my kind. Anything you do that has strawberry, you already have me as a you have me as a dedicated client coming to you. But guess what? It's not just only me. There are many people who enjoy their puff puff, but they enjoy their puff puff with a different taste. Have you been able to, like, number one, listen to complaint, number two, create a packaging on how you serve that very particular brand or serve that very particular product? So please and please, I'm begging, especially my Nigerian people, think about packaging. The way we deliver products, sometimes you feel like, who is bewitching you? Like, why? And then you now go to church and begin to disturb people like Pastor Jerry Eze and all of these people who are doing online prayer to now begin to attack enemies. In fact, your uncles are sleeping and yet you are disturbing your uncle that they're the one attacking you. When it's literally the way you package your product is causing you a problem. Literally, it's causing you a problem. Number two, remember, differentiate through presentation. Then number three, these are something that is very important. Target who others are ignoring. Target who others are ignoring. Hear me, every market has people that others are ignoring. For example, I was speaking to a colleague of mine. We're now talking about the whole issue of property. And I was saying, and one of the things I was saying, I said, Nigeria is getting to the point where people may not be able to pay this yearly business again. I mean, this yearly rental thing again. Because why? The economy is not even helping. Imagine somebody taking a 70,000 naira salary monthly home, and yet you are charging them a rental of about 1 million. How do you expect them to even transport, to be able to do stuff? And I was speaking to this very particular person. I said, whether we like it or not, you guys are ignoring these very particular people. When you are building your house, and that was the advice I was giving to this multiple client of mine, I said, when you are building your house, you must understand that there is a market that people are ignoring. The market are people who are looking for monthly rentals. Hear me, Nigerian property realtors, whatever you call yourself. Please, I beg you. This is me begging. Begin to produce product. I know you are in the property space and it is crowded. Start producing product or housing that can be able to accommodate people on a monthly base. Monthly base. Hear me. We can't. It's a problem now that people. That's why you see when the people are living that house, they almost want to destroy the house because of the pain in which. And sometimes you landlord. I'm very sorry. I'm going to come for you guys again. Sometimes some of you landlord, you literally do not take care of a property. How do you keep a house? No wardrobe, no anything and stuff. Now, this person who comes decide to put wardrobe, and you think if they want to remove their wardrobe, they will damage the wall. They will remove everything, and the next minute you are telling the next client that is going to come, no, take it as it is. That is witchcraft and robbery. It is your house. Fix your wardrobe. Fix the basics that needs to be there. Let me say this: South Africa houses. That's why sometimes when I say, you people think as if I'm angry. See this flag? Where is the flag? Yeah, this one. This flag. That's why it's there. And every house in South Africa come with a full wardrobe system. And at the same time, come with a full kitchen system. Obviously, there may not be washing machine, but it has a stove. It has a geyser. It has all of those things. They are there. So when you are renting it knowing that you're only bringing your clothes. You're not coming there now to construct wardrobe. So There are people like that where we don't want to come and start constructing wardrobe as if the house is our own house. And tomorrow when we want to leave, I would pull the wardrobe. If the wall fall, it falls. That's okay. I don't care. Because why? You refuse to take good care of your property. Please and please, target who others are ignoring. Property people, I'm going to beg you, start beginning to that land you have. Start creating a, for lack of better word, a system that can accommodate monthly pay. And hear me, you can make a lot of money. Let me even say this. Imagine a house is going for 1 million naira per year. Nothing stops you of making that very part. Divide 1 million by what you call 12 months. If you look at it, chances are it's going to be 150,000 naira. You might be so shocked that somebody doesn't have a problem paying 200,000 naira for that very particular listing monthly. And let me say this, how you do it. I have no problem sharing ideas. It's fine. This is how you do it. It's very simple. The person pays you 200,000 naira per month. What you then do is the fact that the rental is 200,000 per month. Take a down deposit of that same rental of 200,000 per month, and every month the person is paying. Now, if the person leaves your house the following month or 3 months after, you go there, check the stuff, be sure that the thing is fine. And if your house is in good condition, return that 200,000 because it's a down payment. Sometimes some of you landlord, I'm very sorry, some of you landlord or agents and stuff, you call it caution fee, but when the person is leaving the house, you don't give them the money back. That is broad day robbery. I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest. That is broad. You know that caution fee is supposed to come back to them, but you don't give them the caution fee. And now the next minute they are dragging you. I'm also coming with a solution that will put all of you in problem. Me, I'm telling you now, but I won't tell you now. That's my own idea. Because why? It's a crowded space. And I've seen something that both the tenant, the landlord, and all of the people in the property space are complaining. I'm working out something and I'm going to come up whereby it's going to cost you wahala, like they say it in Nigeria. So please and please look at the neglected group or region. For example, there is a banking platform in Kenya known as M-Pesa. What does M-Pesa do? M-Pesa look at the banking industry. They notice that there is a huge amount of people that are unbanked, and they created M-Pesa for them to be able to get those people to become banked people. We can also look at it also from the Nigerian point of view also. We have platform like your OPay. Yeah, there is OPay, there is MoneyPoint, there is PalmPay, if I'm not mistaken. Guess what? All of these guys, they look at the market that people like your Fortune 500 bank in quote are ignoring. Now they decide to say, okay, fine, how do we create a market? For example, let's look at what OPay did. OPay look at it, their core target was this. They said that they're going to look for mass markets, urban users, transport riders, and traders. That is what OPay did. Now, what is the differentiator of OPay? Is the fact that they try to create simplicity. Obviously, I remember I wanted to do something a few minutes ago before this, and one of the staff was saying to me, say, sir, you can't put that kind of money in OPay. And I remember vividly, somebody once said to me, I made a payment of a huge amount of money from OPay. The guy called me first, said, don't try it again. Now, I understand why, because OPay is not a fully fleshed bank, but they are trying to target a market of people who just want to have small money. So that you transfer your money from, for example, from your Access Bank, you transfer it to OPay if you are doing smaller stuff, so that your card system on your main bank is not exposed for fraud and all of those things. But guess what? OPay understand that they come up with something. And I'm saying OPay not because they sponsor me, because I'm going to mention MoneyPoint. MoneyPoint also. MoneyPoint came. In fact, MoneyPoint is the popular POS merchant as far as I'm concerned in Nigeria. I think somebody's nodding now. They are the popular one. I myself to actually have MoneyPoint payment system, literally right here in the office. I do have it and stuff because it was popular. So what did MoneyPoint do? MoneyPoint look at the SMS and the merchant operators. I mean the SME, sorry. Look at the SME guys to say, okay, if people are selling small business, let's see how. It's still guess what? It's still a banking platform, but let's look at how do we create something here, whereby people can be able to have this POS thing and they do their business and all of that. And I think for MoneyPoint, I was told that all MoneyPoint wanted for you to do per week is for you to do a 40,000 naira business per week, and the MoneyPoint is your own, the machine. Now, there are people who are buying outright of that very particular stuff because I can't be monitoring 40,000 for crying out loud. I buy the thing and I move on with my life. But now, guess what? There are people who literally, that 40,000, they can meet up because MoneyPoint is saying you don't need to do heavy transaction. Just 40,000 naira a week, you are good. I know of a particular company, I don't want to mention their POS system. I can mention this fine, so probably I don't have any issue. His name is called GTB. That's my business. GTB, I remember their POS, this thing. They were telling me that, no, you need to do a business transaction of about 25 million before I said, are you okay? In Nigeria, like, guess what? That's why they are not popular. Because why? They are ignoring a high percentage of people. Who is going to do a business of 25 million in Nigerian economy? You can only target Dangote and stuff, and chances are Dangote doesn't work around with POS. Let's be honest. That's why you see your people like OP Money Points, especially Money Points, they are playing in the industry big. Because why? They understand the market that people are ignoring. The final one is Pampe. Pampe, I discovered that Pampe are student-based platform. Student like Pampe. Because why? It gives them reward. When you buy something in Pampe, it gives them reward. And you know, students, every reward makes sense to them. So you must be able to look at your industry and look at what people are ignoring. I use this payment gateway system, not because that's the only place for me, but it's a popular stuff that you all will understand. That's why I'm using that. But please look at what people are ignoring and take advantage of it. Number 4, as we begin to prepare ourselves for calls to come in. Number 4, what do you do when you find yourself in a crowded space? Number 4, add experience, not just product. Now, one of the things I put here, I say people don't just buy goods, they buy feelings. The reason why everyone is doing what it's doing today, I can tell you point blank, it's because of the feelings that I put into the picture. One of the things all my guests can tell you point blank, both in South Africa, currently now in Nigeria, and the ones I've done in Kenya, is the ability for me to make them see. People are doing talk show. There's a lot of podcasts that is everywhere and cool. But one of the things we have a lot of emails that comes in for podcasts and stuff. But there is a way that I want a podcast for Afri1 Show podcast to look like, that I don't just take everything and dump it on the podcast and the next minute I get confused as to what we are. We are a Pan-African podcast where our story we do is for us to be able to tell African success stories, bring out innovators, be able to rewrite the African narratives, pop out solutions and innovations that are currently changing the what's called dynamics of Africa. That's why somebody was asking me the other day, why are you not doing things about Nigeria and But you are currently now in Nigeria. I say, because it's called Afri1 Show, not Nigerian One Show. And that is it. Because why? We are different. Our experiences are different. Why is my experience different? Having lived out of this very particular continent, particular country for almost 2 decades, my experience cannot be what your experience are or your experience is currently now in Nigeria. I've been able to experience. So when I'm selling my product, I bring it from a standpoint of experience and not just offering you the camera and the razzmatazz. By the time we finish, I remember one of my guests the other day was saying, he said people cannot prepare enough to come to your show. And I make sure that I do that. That no matter how you prepare, you'll meet me. It's going to be like, okay, wow. Because why? I want to give you experience. So that by the time you tell somebody about Afri1 Show, when we market your product, when we talk about your services, when we help you position you in the marketplace, you have to finish and like, wow, I never saw it this way. For example, what we are currently doing now every Friday, and as we begin to go, very soon it's going to be an everyday thing online. But obviously not now. Because why? We are trying to test the markets. We know that, okay, fine, startups in Nigeria, they are literally really struggling. So how then do we begin to give them information that can make them different and also be able to scale? That's what we're doing. So we're looking at startups. I'm not in the place currently now, or Afri1 Nigeria. We are not there where we can then begin to say, okay, fine, we want to look at the Fortune 500 business and stuff and could know. Because every startups that we have a potential tomorrow to become a Fortune 500. Our own part for Afri1 Network and Afri1 Invest is to see a way on how to be able to get that startup to get into a place where they begin to scale and hopefully get to the point where they become what's called Fortune 500. But you can't call me now, ask me about Fortune 500 stuff. That's not what I am looking at. I'm looking for startups that have ideas, startups that come up with solutions that are relatable. Don't come with solutions that are complicated. See, simplicity is the key. It is the key. Number 5, what you must do in navigating crowded space. Number 5, what you must do in navigating crowded space is the fact that you must use what we call the EWRC innovation card. Now, this is adapted from the Blue Ocean book. Please, I keep saying this. I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again today. Please go get the book called Blue Ocean. That book will help you for you to understand the red ocean and the blue ocean. The red oceans are literally the crowded space and everywhere. But guess what? If you go further, I'm going to use the sea, for instance. Do you notice that the sea, when you go to see, maybe it's lagoon, I think they call it lagoon. In my head, I'm thinking about Balito Sea in South Africa, but I've not been to one in Nigeria. Those of you who are tourism guys in Nigeria, can you people please send me something about a tourist attraction in Abuja, especially I'm here currently, or within the northern space? I want to see what is happening. Can somebody just be my surefire, and just let's go see things so that I can be able to sell your product. You never can tell. But guess what? When you go to the space of a sea, for example, or let's say you just want to go walk on the sand in the sea, then the front line is always busy and always crowded. But guess what? When you take yourself and you go into the sea, you find out that in there it is calm and cool. But guess what? It is still the same water. That's why I'm encouraging you. Please get the Blue Ocean Strategy. The reason why I'm recommending that very particular book, because it will help you whether you are a employer or employee or entrepreneur or consultant or a startup, wherever you find yourself, that book would definitely have something for you to offer. Something for you to glean from. So please and please. So let's look at the ERRC. What does it mean? Number one, the E there means eliminate, which means remove what doesn't add value. When you look at the crowded market, have you been able to look at these things that people are doing here doesn't add value? I'm going to remove it and let's move on with our lives. Remove what doesn't add value, which means all I'm trying to say here now is be value driven. Be value driven. I was saying to Echo now concerning, because currently now we're looking for business developer and partnership, people who can be able to help us to be able to source out for sponsorship, product placement, and all of those things. That's where we are currently, and we're looking for that. And I said to Echo, I said, there are a lot of people who are sending emails now, and I'm looking at the email and I'm thinking, are you for real? We live in a generation now whereby your email and your CV literally your CV and your customization of your good word would not work. I'm sorry, it will not work. AI is causing problem. Can I be honest with you? If I say this, Echo, you will laugh. There was a particular, email I received. I looked at the email. I can tell that this email was gotten from ChatGPT. Is it ChatGPT? What the guy? Yeah, ChatGPT. The reason why I'm confused. There is a Yoruba guy I watched his content online yesterday. He doesn't call it ChatGPT. He says ChatGPT. GPT or something. It's a Yoruba word. So that messes ChatGPT. But it's ChatGPT. I could tell the way the statement was. It's a ChatGPT. Hear me? There are some people who plays in that space, especially my kind. I play in the AI of things, and I was saying to Echo, I said, "See, hear me? We need to be on our game. Things are. I think there was a day whereby certain music we were producing and stuff. Literally, we coined out that from AI. In 5 minutes, we were good." And Echo was telling me, "It's like, sir, that thing doesn't have copyright issues. As we are fine. I say, go ahead." Guess what? It's the fact that the owners of those platforms, they look at how to remove what doesn't add value. The R there means reduce, which means you must simplify process and cost. See, if it would take me more than 9 minutes to understand your process, you don't have a business. I'll repeat it again. If it would take me 9 minutes to understand your process, you don't have a business. So which means every day you wake up, simplify your process. Even you as an employee, let your boss not be struggling to understand you. For crying out loud, you are not it. You are just a person. Simplify you daily. That's why for us as everyone, we said it is innovate, unite, and elevate. Those are simple English. We want to unite Africa. We want to come up with innovative solutions that will make Africa become great. And we want to elevate one another. Very simple. The moment you call everyone, that's what you will see. So you must be able to reduce processes. Don't make me, we want to come see you. The next minute we are meeting 14 PA. Now the PAs them, this is me looking at politicians. You have 14 PA. Inside the 14 PA, you now have 3 deputy PAs. Before we finish there, we now come down again. The deputy PA have their own secretary. Before you know what's going on, you have course, we are not interested. Nigerian politicians, finally, I'm out at your doorstep. Please make things easy. Business owner, simplify processes. Don't say you want to make it hard. The moment I click your website, it is I'm gone. You're not the only one playing in that field. And I think many of us need to understand this. The field where you're working on currently now, you are not the only one playing there. Let me help you. When Netflix thinks that they're the big boys, Showmax pop up. When Showmax thinks that they're the only one running stuff, Amazon wake up and say, we are coming. It's called Prime. Hear me. You are not the only one playing in that field. Now, what is the R? The R there means race, which means you must improve what customers care about, which is quality, hygiene, and speed. Improve what customers care about. Customers care about their hygiene, the speed of delivery, the quality of the product. Now, this is me still talking about crowded space. So you must be able to do that. And the final C there, which is you must create, introduce something new. Introduce something new. I know you are selling properties. What are the new things? Let's say you're a property agent, you are selling a property and stuff. I'm still looking for that. Maybe because I'm currently looking at property space and I'm seeing a lot of gaps. You're in the property space, you're an estate agent, and you are trying to take somebody to go and see a property, and you've succeeded in looking at that very particular property. Your part as the agent, for me to come back to you and say, let me do this business with you, is the fact that you must be able to add something new to that very particular property by telling me that no, this is where you can get your washing machine. This is the access to this very particular place. The property you want to get is close to these amenities, this, and this, and this. It makes the person who wants to do business with you know that you know your game. Not just, oh God, the place has got a key, that's all. Then I'm asking you, where is the closest school? You don't know. And you want to be in business. I think I'm beginning to go hard. Let me come down. But hear me. You must be able to introduce something new. In your introduction of something new, like I was saying, Nigeria, please, let's get ready. Monthly subscription is going to be our thing. You must think about subscription plan. You must think about something that is eco-friendly. And also, you must think about something that is easy. Please keep developing. Take your idea, take your business, look at it and ask yourself, you who is even selling the thing, if the person is selling to you that way, will you buy it? I said to Echo, I said, every day I wake up in my head, and this was the same thing I asked most of my guests. If I'm the president of Africa, what will I do different? Literally. You are working in a company. Imagine you are the CEO of that company. What will you do? You're a staff in some company. Imagine how will the processes of that very particular company is that you can be able to adjust and make something different to make it easier for the company. Now, that is how you literally create an edge in a crowded space. You guys can be 20 in a company. Haven't you noticed that you will find staff that are 20 in the company, but the boss has one or two that they like? Because why? Chances are those ones comes with the idea that, and you'll be like, no, this person is sabotage. No, it's not sabotage. The person is a solution. It's a value to the company. So before you complain about why is the boss liking this one or this one and not me and stuff, hear me bring value. No boss employed anybody to become a problem, because the company already has a problem that they are solving. You be the solution to the problem and not a problem to the company. You will be fired the day you start. So remember that ERRC means to eliminate, to raise. When I talk about eliminate, remove what doesn't work. To reduce, simplify the process. To raise, improve what customers care about. And to create, introduce something new. Look at your product. What will I introduce? You are selling fat cakes. Start adding strawberry flavor, what you call vanilla flavor, and all of this very particular thing. You are an e-hailing rider, for instance. In your e-hailing stuff, make sure that you have hand sanitizer. The ability for you to even have sweets in that. Don't go and become demonic, because sometimes now these things, whereby somebody now lick your sweets, now every day we are thinking about you. We have nowhere to go. But because we've managed to take your sweets, it's not causing us problem, because in Nigeria, beginning to learn fast. But what I'm trying to say, just add something new that will make the experience of the user of your product literally want to remain with you. Sometimes, for example, if you are selling any particular product, call the person who bought your product and ask them, how is the experience? How do you need to do something better? And before you know what is going on, the person begins to see you as a value added, even though your price may be expensive. Because the truth of it is the fact that anything that's of value doesn't come cheap. Doesn't come cheap. And with that being said, as I begin to bring my thought to a close, you must understand some of this practical example every day is the fact that when we're talking about these, don't sell experience. And if you want to sell, always think, sometimes I tell people, I said, when you go into a new space, or probably you go into a crowded space, look at that very particular space and ask yourself, how do I improve on what is currently existing? How do I make it better? What are the things I need to do that will make it for me to have an edge in this very particular space is something that you must think and help. With that being said, the number for you to call us for us to start talking is 0812779343. I think I'm fast now. Somebody say I talk as if I'm rapping. I'm going to be slow. 0812779343. And hear me. For those of you watching us on Facebook and YouTube, the number that is down on my name, this number, because I'm looking at this stuff. The number that is down on my name, that's the number for you to call, and so that we can then be able to talk about your business. And if you have any question you want to ask literally on what we have been talking about, please ask a question. You can pop your message in, and let's get to answer some of your question. I think I remember somebody was asking what is the email address of the channel so that you can send. See, our email address is shows, which is like Afri1 show. So shows at afri1.africa. So you can send all of your email that side, and we'll be able to take it up from them. While your call is preparing to come in, what are the takeaways from these conversations? Is the fact that number one, crowd doesn't mean stop. It means think differently. Just because they are crowd doesn't mean that you should stop. It just means think differently. Number two, you don't need to be everything to everyone. Find your tribe. You don't need to be everything. For us as Afri1, we have what we call the Afri1 tribe. Now, that very particular tribe is because we are creating a system where we speak to a certain group of people, a very certain. So it's a people that we understand that when we say some certain things, they understand us in that place. So please you don't need to be everything to everyone. Find your tribe. Number three, packaging, storytelling, and customers care can make ordinary product feel extraordinary. I'll say it again. Packaging, storytelling, customer care can make ordinary product feel extraordinary. And number four, okay, I've just been told that I have a call. Good afternoon. Okay, the line is not connecting and stuff. The call ended. All right, you can call back 0812779343. 081277. Number four, don't look for shortcuts, which means the ability for you to take out time for you to put the painstaking process. The painstaking process. And number five, innovation is not always for you to invent. It's something that you must just do what is common in an extraordinary way. So that's just my 5 takeaways for this day. If you have any question you want to ask us, you can send your question on wherever you are watching us from currently now, or maybe you just want to send an email concerning your business and all of that. Try to do that by emailing us at shows@afri1.africa. Shows@afri1.africa. So that is what we're talking about today in terms of navigating crowded space. And I believe that this will help somebody. For you, literally, you may want to come back on this very particular video, watch again, try to find something. See, let me say this. A lot of people are looking into Nigeria for opportunities, but somehow Nigeria ecosystem of things may not be friendly. But now you need to find a way of making sure that your own idea stands out and your own idea be able to attract international, for lack of better word, participation in your business. Hear me, Nigerians. We have the grace, the capacity, the knowledge, the know-how to be able to do stuff. But hear me, you have to be daring. Dare to be different, dare to stand out, dare to see that the things that you are doing comes out well for you. You must also understand that if you are going to be a king in that market where you're currently operating, you must be willing to do something different. And most times, it may not even be comfortable. It may not be comfortable. What we are doing as Afri1, trust me, is not comfortable. It is not comfortable. But we've understand that for something to be good and for something to be out, we have to find a way to stand out. 0812779343. Let's get the call coming in, and so that it can then work for us. 0812779343. And if you're calling from outside of the country, include the country code, which is +234. +234. No, the line is not ringing. I think because I was trying to restart the stuff. So +234, that's the number for you to call in as we get ourselves ready. Let me drink water because I've been talking. Questions that you have? I still have less than 10 minutes for me to call it a wrap on this very particular show. And I'll see you on a Wednesday. And please, while your call is calling in, please, currently we're looking for a business developer and sponsorship executive that can be able to come join us on our board as we're looking into venturing into a different space entirely in what we're doing. I think we have been able to see some certain gaps in the market, and to be very honest, us as everyone, we need you. If you know that you are very good at business developing, the ability for you to increase revenue, the ability for you to be able to get people who would be able to do business with us as everyone. It's as simple as that. If you know you have that, let me even say this, if you know you have people that have businesses that you can bring to us as everyone for business relationship, hear me, your certificate doesn't really matter. I'm sorry, I have to be very honest, but at least you must be proactive. You must be able to build client relationships. You must be able to create a niche for yourself. You must be able to meet targets, be friendly, because we have staff at the office that we want you to be friendly. Don't come with bass because bass will kick you out. It's very easy. So, but at the end of the day, see, hear me, your certificate really doesn't matter. Just be able to be a solution-driven person. I have left the concept of certificate long time because even me myself sitting here, what I studied and what I'm doing, they are like north and south trying to find where to meet. It's not there. That's the thing. But make sure that you can be able to push target. That's all we're looking for. So if you know somebody who knows somebody, you can then be able to send them this very particular video and tell them that everyone is looking for a business developer, somebody who can be able to bring in business and build partnership and also come up with strategic, what you call, ideas that can literally take us from where we are now. Like I like saying, I'm here. I want to get here. How do you help me to get here? That's all I'm interested. So if you are going to come up with, don't make it science kind of stuff. Make it simple. I'm a very simple person. Just tell me as ABC, sir, you are here. For you to get here, we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the deliverables. These are the people I'm bringing on board. This is how we are going to get here. And in this short period of time, I'm committed that this is what's going to happen and co. With that being said, you have a job. So that's the thing there. So with that being said, in the absence of no, because I don't want to stay too long, I have literally 5 minutes. This is 14:52 Nigerian time. Yep. So in the absence of no question, I'm hoping that yes, question will come in as you watch these as we go along during the day or probably during the week. Please keep sending your questions. Inbox us on the platform you're watching us currently. And in case if you want to send email, shows@afrione.africa. For those of you who want to do business beyond just, funding beyond just 50,000, I want to encourage you, please visit our online platform known as invest.afrione.africa. Invest.afrione.africa. If you are into the place of the property space of things, because I know that I came for you property guys today, but hear me, you can list your property. Obviously, your property will be going through verification. I promise you to be verified. If you can list your property on our property side, now this is the advantage of listing your property on Afrione Property. If your property is listed on our platform, you then have free marketing because we're going to talk about your property and also push your property to some of the stakeholders that I am exposed to be able to buy your property. But guess what? That platform to list your property, it's not free. It's going to cost you. So you can go there, check the price and see how it is. But we guarantee that, yes, we will push your property to the rightful people. And you never can tell. There's a package that you can take on that platform because it's also a subscription package system. There's a package you take on that platform. You might be sitting with me live on the podcast talking to us about your business. And literally that comes at no cost on your own side. So that is all about the whole advert for today. I'll see you next week, Wednesday at exactly 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Then also on Friday again back at 2 p.m. With that being said, I remain your host, the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve. Let's keep Africa united. Let's keep innovating. And let's elevate one another. Bye for now. And God bless you.
The Afrione Show, voice of a new tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the Afro One Show, Voice of the New Tribe.